Hi, kids. Oh, my God. Unit 6, Day 0. Okay, it's after the test, and it was not the easiest test, and I hope you guys rocked it. You guys are getting good at some of that stuff, but we have to get going, kids. We're a little bit behind. We got a few things to catch up, so that's why I'm asking you to do a little tiny bit of work at nighttime. This stuff should not be very difficult. What we're going to be doing is evaluating and comprising functions. Now, I've put it on a spiral a couple times so that you'd get a view of it, because I knew it might be coming. It's not really on the Common Core curriculum, but it is on the Algebra 2 Trig curriculum. So I have to share it with you. So shouldn't take very long. Hopefully this video is less than maybe 15 minutes. Here's what it is. This is the function f of x. Here's f of x right here. I've described it in this way, where these are the x values and this is the f of x values. So when I say I want to know what f of 2 is, well, we go look for the 2 value of x, and then we go up and we say, oh, f of 2 is approximately, I don't know, 1.3, something like that. What's f of 0? F of 0, x value of 0, was that like 0.8? F of 6, well, that's easy. That's 2. And f of 4 is also 2. And now, if I asked you, is this a function, you would have to say yes. It passes the vertical line test. There's no way that I can draw a vertical line through and touch more than one of these dots. However, it is not one-to-one because it fails the horizontal line test. Just in case I was asking. Evaluate the function at the given point. So here's another way to define the function, where this is the x value and this is the f of x value. So if I came over and said, what is f of 0? So we look for the 0. There it is, right there. And the f of 0 would be 3. What's f of 1? Well, here's 1. F of 1 is 3. F of 3 is -2, and f of -2 is 3. Easy peasy. Is it a function? Let me ask you that question just for fun. Do I have any repeating x values? -2, 0, 1, and 3. Nope. Do I have any repeating y values? 3, 3, 3, and -2. So it is a function, but it is not a one-to-one function. Now, if I just say evaluate the function at x equals -2, what we'll do is we'll put -2 in for x. So what I'm really saying is what is f of -2? And that's equal to 2 raised to the -2 power minus 1 all over -6. Now remember, negative exponents have absolutely nothing to do with being negative. Oh man, my glasses are dirty. Negative exponents have nothing to do with being negative. So what this is really 1 over 2 to the positive 2. So this is 1/4 minus 1 over 1 all over -6. Now again, if you had a calculator, of course, I should put this over 1, you would just type it in your calculator. But for me, I don't have one, so I'm going to write it like this. 1 over 4 minus 1 over 1 over -6. Now the common denominator between 1, 1, and 4 is 4. So I'm going to multiply everything through by 4. So in the numerator, I get, these cancel. I get 1 over, remember this is multiplication, -24. So this is -3 over -24, which is just 1/8. There's your answer. That's it, brothers and sisters. Okay, so f of 2, all we're going to do is evaluate the function. You plug 2 in, so you get 2 minus 4 cubed, which is equal to really -2 cubed, and -2 times -2 is -8. Plug in a 3. Now be careful with this. It's negative parenthesis 3 squared plus 1. So what this is, 3 squared is 9, so it's -9 plus 1. -8. I'm sensing a theme here, kids. You're going to plug in -1 here. So it's the absolute value, or 2 times the absolute value of -1 minus 8. Oops, absolute value. So that's 2 times the absolute value of negative 7, which is really equal to 2 times 7, which is 14. Oh, no theme. And finally, we're going to plug in negative 2. Now, you must do this using parentheses. So this is 3 times negative 2 cubed. Well, this negative 2 cubed gets done first. So this is really equal to 3 times negative 8, because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. So my answer is negative 24. Halfway done with the notes, kids, and we're only 5 minutes into the video. Sweet. Oh, this is a little bit more. So what does this mean? This one stands for, this is red, f of g of x. This is red, g of, excuse me. This one's red, g of f of x. F of, that's, why am I having a hard time writing? I can't write, I'm terrible. F of x, or g of x. What this really means, what this one really means is f parenthesis g of x. What it says is take g of x and plug it into f of x. This is g of f of x. What gets done first is this. This part gets done first. The part inside the parentheses get first, and then this gets done second. So first, second. F of x. And yes, you can do that. You can compose one function inside another. So this would be first, and this would be second, and so on and so forth. So let me show you what that means. So let's say I did this. This really means f of g of 0. So this part highlighted gets done first. So what I do is I go to the g function. This is the g function. And I say, okay, plug in 0. So g of 0. Well, here's 0. And the g value is also 0. So this is really just 0. So now I want to do f of 0. Well, here's 0, and this is my f function, and f of 0 is up here, so this is equal to 5. Now, let's do it in reverse. Well, let me do this one in reverse. Let's see if it changes. Let's see if it changes. So let me show you this. What if I did? So we just said this was equal to 5. Now let's take a look at g of f of 0, or in other words, g of f of 0. So composition of functions, plugging one function into another. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this first. So we're going to look at the f function. Here's 0, and I go up 5. So this really turns out to be g of 5. Well, I go on the g function, I find 5. Here's the x value of 5, and I go up here, and that answer is 1. So g of f of 0 is 1. Notice they're not equal to each other. If they were equal to each other, they would be inverses of each other. Now we're going to do g of f of 4, or g of f of 4. That's how that's read, so you don't sound like a moron and say g parentheses f of parentheses x. It's g of f of x. Or, excuse me, in this case, we're going to do f of 4. So let me erase over here. And we're going to go find 4. Here's 4. But on the f function, it's up there, and that's equal to 7. So this is really 7. So now I want to do g of 7. Okay? So this is the g function, come out to 7, and I go up. G of 7 is equal to 3. So this is equal to 3. Now, just for fun, I'm going to do f of g of 4, or in other words, f of g of 4. This gets done first. Well, g of 4 is the g function. That's 0. So this is 0. So now we're doing f of 0, and that's equal to 5. Weird. All right, we're almost done, Shillin. So here's my f function. Let me highlight it in yellow. Here's my g function, or h function. I'll highlight that in green. And so another way to read this is f of h of 3. So the first thing I want to do is figure out what is this. This is the one I go to the green function. I find the x value of 3, and I say, oh, that's equal to 0. So I say this is really equal to f of 0. Now I'm going to go over to the yellow function, and I want to find out what that's equal to. X value of 0, it gets 1. So this whole thing is equal to 1. So this is the same as h of f of 0. So now I want to go to the yellow function and find 0. Should erase. It's the yellow function. So find f of 0. 0, oh, 1. So this is really just 1. So now I want to do h of 1. Well, h of 1, x value of 1, h of 1 is equal to 2. So that whole thing equals 2. I can also write it this way. I can use it as an algebraic expression. So what this says is we're going to do f of g of 7. So the first thing I want to do is g of 7. So I come over here and I say, okay, I need to know what g of 7 is. Here's the g function. It says take 3 and multiply it by 7 squared. Well, 7 squared is 49. 49 times 3 is 147. So that's what this is equal to. So now I'm going to replace this with 147. Well, that's annoying. So I'm going to do now 2 times, here's my f function, 2 times 147. This is the x right there, minus 1. Well, 2 times 147 is, let's see, this is 94. 294 minus 1, this is 293. All right, let's do one last problem. This is really f of g of 1. Okay. So let's see. First thing, oh, well, I already wrote that. So this is equal to f of g of 1. That was the same thing. So really what I want to find out is what is g of 1. So I'm going to use the g function, and I'm going to plug in 1 for x. So g of 1 is equal to negative 1 plus 3. Well, that's just 2. So this here gets replaced with just a 2. So now I want to know, what is f of 2 equal to? Well, now I'm going to use the f function, which is over here, which is just to multiply by 3x. So 3 times 2, which is 6. So my answer is f of g of 1 is equal to 6. That's it, kids. That's how you do composition of functions. It's not too difficult. I know you guys can handle it. I've given you the homework assignment. If you don't have it, you can download it and work through it. Should take you probably no more than about 10 minutes. All right, guys. Good luck. Have fun. Bye. Subscribe.